So I'll read this and then we'll spend a few moments together in silence. All that we are, together and individually, is part of the abundance of the universe. We are made of stars. We are made of earth. All that we have comes from earth, from the labor of those in our communities, from the cities, farms, and oceans that enliven us, the world and those who live in it. We are surrounded by blessing, by grace, by possibilities. We are reflected in every other human being. We respect and honor one another's differences. We celebrate our interbeing with abundance and the practice of generosity. Come, let us be together. Now we'll spend some time in silence together. And gather yourselves and take a deep breath. Come back into this space and let us begin. Is this on? Yes, okay, it's on. All right, well, welcome everyone. This is our annual meeting, and we will shift gears to that. First thing that we need to do is talk just for real briefly about what the annual meeting is for, and what I see it pretty much as three things. It's about transparency for me. It's about a review of our last fiscal year, and it's about our hopes and dreams of the future. That's what today is about for me and for us. First thing we need to do by our bylaws is we need to establish a quorum. We currently have, with our two most recent signees, 28 established members with the church. So we need a quorum of 20%. If you could raise your hand as a member of the church, signed member of the church. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 church members here, which well exceeds the quorum, so we can hold our annual meeting. So I will call the annual meeting together now. And our first agenda will be to approve the annual board meeting minutes for 2025. And I believe, Carmen, you've already handed those out to everyone. Hopefully you've had a little bit of time to reflect on those. And as someone is ready and able, I'll need a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Stephen. Tom, we have a second. Is there any discussion, questions, comments about the minutes? Any corrections? Seeing none, I will call for a vote. All the voting members, if you'll just respond by saying aye. Any opposed to acceptance of the minutes? All righty, we approved the minutes from our annual meeting of 2025. Wow, what a year. We're going to take a little trip back memory lane. That's my job as your board chair, is to take us back to a year ago. And as I was reflecting about this, the vision that came to my mind was a big balloon. And we got the information that Tammy was going to be moving on and doing something new and different. This time, a little bit before this time, a year ago. And that big, huge balloon felt to me like it just went, it was like the air was sucked out of it. There was like, oh my God, now what do we do? What did we do in the last year? Wow. When I started to go through what we've done in a year, it was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have done some amazing things over the last year. We have one of the issues that we were fearful of was that, as we always are, is that church attendance would go down, that, maybe this was the beginning of the end kind of thing. That's always that rock that hangs over our head, I guess. And so I looked at our attendance over the last year. And I was going to try and get this for a slide up there, but I was not savvy enough to figure out how to do this. But we have gone from a monthly average of 61, 64, 62, 61, 92, 82, a 60 in January. We had a really bad Sunday in that month. 69, 103, 89, and we're on course to hit in the high 80s or low 90s for this month. That to me is not a downward trend. If you look at that, it's definitely an upward trend. We have continued a lot of our efforts that we go on with each and every week and month in terms of our social justice awareness via our outdoor signage. That has continued to be a positive for us as we celebrate the diversity and the anniversaries of special things in our community. We do it through our incredible newsletter. We draw attention to the church through our ringing of the church bells, through the opening of our front doors as weather and ability to do that allows us to keep them open. Our online presence with our Zoom for folks who are connected to the church, and then our ongoing YouTube and service message that folks can go back to if you want to hear something again, or if you miss a Sunday. It's also an opportunity for people out in the community to kind of, if you will, check us out and see what kind of discussions, what kind of, if you will, philosophies are involved in our gatherings. We've continued our great partnership with the SDA community that's here on Thursdays and Saturdays, doing all the things that they do. They continue to help us financially. They help us with projects. They're going to have a wonderful summer Bible study for the kids, Bible school. And some folks were concerned because it lasts a whole week, and we have already cleared all the people who use the church during that time frame so that they can actually be involved with that. I think the involvement of the SDAs here, the Seventh-day Adventists, it is that it really does speak to our values and our inclusion of those that may be a little different, think a little different, have a different religious philosophy and background, and yet we are welcoming. And we can not only survive together in a building, but I really believe that partnership has thrived. And to be in our, 10 plus, it's amazing to me that it's been that long because it seems like just yesterday sometimes that we have been partnering with them, but wonderful, wonderful people. In September, we were notified by the UUA that we had passed the mile marker of 25 years as an honor congregation. If you don't know what an honor congregation is, we have an allotment of dollars that UUA kind of, if you will, assigns us as our contribution to supporting UUA's work, which is our kind of mothership, if you will. And that honor congregational is about the fact that we have met our obligation to them 100% for 25 consistent years. So I think that's another way for us to think in terms of, if I go back and look historically at the ebb and flow of, we're going to close, we're going to rise, we're going to close, we're going to rise, it's there. But the reality is, even if we don't look at it from just purely a numbers standpoint, but a continuity and an opportunity to be in a community and to serve a community, we continue to do that. We have continued with our community outreach. As mentioned in the announcements today, one of our big community outreach pieces this year has been Chuck's Closet. It has been a pleasure to get to know folks involved with that. Again, it's a very local opportunity for us. I think that's one of the things that we've really kind of honed in on this year is to really pay attention to that 3 feet around us. It's 3 feet around each of us, and it's 3 feet around our building here, and it's 3 feet around our congregation and our community of Oaklandon. Chuck's Closet is an opportunity to help feed people, which is a very important social justice issue. It's huge. The food insecurity that's out there is unbelievable. Some folks were concerned about the fact that Chuck's Closet closes down for a couple of months, if you will, during the summer. There are other food pantries, and all the participants that utilize Chuck's Closet are instructed about that. If you haven't had an opportunity to see the Lawrence Township School announcements about the food service sites for the summer, breakfast and lunch will be served to all the kids who need it up to the age of 25 through either, like in our little neighborhood over there, it's at the Fort Harrison Theater, and then schools are opened and other local sites around Lawrence, so the kids get fed throughout the summer, and that's really an important effort. We make sure that people continue to get what they need. In November, we held our 3rd annual homecoming event, in which we celebrated our 150th year in this building, and according to our plate out front. It was very successful. We had a fabulous meal. Tam did an extraordinary job with the food, and again, that's an opportunity for us to be involved with our community neighbors and to support them as they support us. They've done some supporting of Chuck's Closet over the course of the year. We had also in November, we had our bazaar. and we had the local vocal choir that performed a concert for us here that was absolutely wonderful. And we look forward to that happening again this year. The local vocals are not in our building any longer. That was a amicable shake hands kind of situation. The only reason that they moved their practices from here was because we're not on a bus line, and they are an Marion County based choir. So they get a lot of folks from north of us, south of us, and many of those folks utilize public transportation to get to and from practices. So again, they are still part of our Friends Network, and we'll continue to work with them, and they'll be back in the fall. We also, in November, we welcomed Mary Ann Macklin for our message on our homecoming Sunday. And that has been a positive source of continuity for us in the latter part of this year. And I'm excited to say I think that will be an ongoing relationship. We are currently working on a similar contract that we've had in the past with other part-time ministers to help us with Sunday services and to help us with pastoral care. And it looks as though right now we're looking at probably 2 times a month on average of Mary Ann being here. And then we'll also be looking at some workshops and some other types of contributions that she can make to us as the host site, but we will be opening those kinds of things up to the other UU congregations and the community at large. So look forward to that, and look forward to growing our relationship with Mary Ann. We December was, as Decembers always are here. The church is absolutely beautiful. We have a team of folks who come together and decorate the tree, and there's never enough more on our tree. And that we have gotten over the years from Bonnie and several other people. You cannot have enough on your tree. And we also decorate the halls and the candles in just many different ways. We have our Wednesday night quiet time in the beauty of the church, and a way to, for an hour, just get away from all that craziness that the holiday season brings. You can come in and listen to soft music and just chill. And by the time you get to December 15th or December 16th, that's all you want to do, is come in and sit and be quiet. And we offer that. We also had a fabulous Christmas Eve service that I'm so sorry we missed, because not only did it do the things that it always does for us on Christmas Eve, but we were able to welcome back EJ and the piano music. And you see what I mean about going down memory lane from the past year? I mean, wow, lots of things happening. We have also begun to do the passing of the plate. Again, that was something that we had lost in over the years. I think at COVID, we kind of, obviously a lot of things were lost during the COVID time. And as we kind of began to put the pieces back together, the passing of the plate, I think, has been an amazing opportunity for folks to share a little bit of extra out of their pocket to support the operations of the church. For those that are still trying to decide if this is their home, it's an opportunity for them to contribute. And it's not just about contributing to us, but it's about 50% of that going to the Share the Plate projects, and then 50% of that going to the operating funds for the church. We I always have to make sure I'm telling the things truthfully here. We also, in the last year with the Share the Plate recipients, we had 4 that have benefited from the Share the Plate. We had budgeted a goal of $1,800 for our Share the Plate recipients over the year, and they included the Black Church Coalition, Gender Nexus, the Oak Landon Elementary School, our neighbor just to the north of us. And then we're finishing up the year with the Indiana Aid project. We well exceeded our goal, and this, I believe, is a direct result of the renewing of the passing of the plate piece. And instead of our 1,800 goal we set, we exceeded $2,500 for those efforts, which is amazingly wonderful. We've added 2 new members to our church in the last few weeks. That's always good when we have folks that sign the book. And if there's anyone who ever is interested in knowing more about what it means to sign the book, I or any of the board members would be happy to share that with you. We had a fabulous year of book clubs. We read some books that were really, really good. We read a few that were maybe not on our top 10 list, but that's the name of the game of variety. And we had wonderful hosts, Jan and Linda and Stacy and Carmen and Jan Swan, I know. Jan Swan and Sherry and I, and then Lori will be closing us out here this coming week for book club. And we're pleased to announce that book club will continue next year. We will be solidifying the books here this week, and we'll get those out in the newsletter so that folks can begin to read over the summer and be prepared for fall. If you are not coming Tuesday night and you did not pick up correspondent to read, I would highly recommend that you pick that book up. And I think it's my favorite so far. And I was really wondering about if anything could beat Atmosphere. But these 2 were definitely a part of the good stuff this year in book club. We also have a number of wonderful committees that work with us to make this happen, to make Sunday services happen, to make all the activities happen. Of course, our sign committee is one that is pretty well got their job done, but this year they were able to get an inventory put together, so now we know exactly what we've got and when it goes up and those kind of things. So we're excited for that. With the taking back of us being a lay leadership, we have our worship and tech committee. Jan and Sherry have been kind of the coordinators of that and working between the folks who are helping us on the worship associate and tech side and coordinating with the board, and we greatly appreciate their involvement. We've also added this year a landscaping committee, and you will see the fruits of their efforts hopefully within the next week to week and a half out front. And this year, we'll be focusing on the front entry of the church because we do have the whole thing, the whole mess that's going to be over here at some point in the next year or so. The folks there, Brittany and Frankie and Meg and Marilyn have all been a part of that and will continue to kind of shepherd that project, and very excited about that. We have our Flushers group that came together and allowed us two new seat high toilets in the restrooms, which have been greatly applauded by many. I've heard lots of positive comments since those were installed, and even the encouragement that we may want to replace the other two. So we will see what happens with that as we go. We've had some great social justice pieces. The postcards have been great fun events. The newsletter activity in terms of keeping people posted on what's going on in the world at large and in our community keeps us abridged as to what the social justice issues are of the moment. It was heartwarming the night that we had a number of kids that were involved with the postcard writing. When you see a probably 10-year-old sit and write a postcard about, please don't send my friends away. I mean, how can you read that as a human being down in a big building of government and not feel something? I don't get it, but that's why we're here. That's why social justice is a cornerstone of who we are, is because we don't get it. We don't get 10-year-olds having to say, don't take my friends away. Don't take their mommies and daddies away. That's who we are. So social justice is a huge issue. We will be celebrating next month our Pride involvement, and we did that a year ago. Those are also issues that are important in this day and age. We had several people also involved with the voting rights of individuals during the primary elections. We had people working the polls. We had people working with candidates. So again, active in that social justice arena. And most recently, one of our efforts is completed, 98% completed. Still have a little work to do on the stairs, but we no longer have duct tape and worrisome thoughts about the stairway. So we have done a lot in those months. So I look around this room and I cannot see anyone who has been with us more than about, 3 or 4 times that hasn't been personally touched by one of these opportunities. We've also had all of our dining out opportunities. So give yourself a hand. What a year. What a year. We had a great congregational meeting last month. We went over a lot of these things that we really love that I've kind of highlighted and mentioned. We also talked about things that we want to kind of continue, or things that we want to bring anew. And that is the maintenance of this building continues to be an ongoing opportunity for us. Right now, nothing that is boiling over and immediately needed, but we will keep our eyes open. We're looking at things like air conditioning, trees, to have a place to have outside activities and have some shade, and those will come along. We're looking at solar. UUA has begun to challenge churches through 2030 to get on the climate change bandwagon. And we will begin to look at what that means for us. We're looking at fundraisers. That's been a recommendation by folks. We're talking about wearing, I see a lot of UU shirts in the room today. Wear those outside every once in a while. Wear them out in the community. Have people ask you, what is that? What's that mean? It's amazing. People will ask. And to help with that kind of engagement, we're going to shortly, probably within the next 6 weeks, we will have business cards available to everyone, kind of generic, that will give all the information about OUUC on it. It'll give the address, it'll give the website information, phone numbers to contact us, the atom with our information on it. And each of you will have an opportunity to have, 5 to 6 of those, carry them in your wallets, carry them in your purse, and utilize them when you're out in the community. Our talk back time, talk after service activities, we're changing some mics now around and things like that, so we may be able to get that to happen. So that's just a few of the things that have come up, and we're always here, ready and able to work with any of the folks that are coming to church with us. So we have laughed together, we've cried together, we've cared for one another, we've remembered folks like Steve Hamilton and Marcia Tilden. We've welcomed the birth of folks for grandchildren in the community. And we look forward to continuing our sharing, loving of each other and our community. So that's a quick, as I can do it, review of the. Moving on with our annual meeting now. We will have some recognitions. If you are a part of the book club as a host, a board member, a committee member, anyone who has worked on any special projects over the last year, raise your hand. I mean, look at this. We are an engaged community. We support one another, we engage one another, and everyone is raising their hand. That's what community, and that's what a community family is about. So thank you to each and every one of you for all of that. Voting items, moving right along. I promised Tom it wouldn't be over 3 hours and 45 minutes. We have a budget proposed. The board has reviewed this and approved it for presentation to the congregation and friends. So Tom, you want to come up and talk about the budget, please? While he's passing out the budget, I'm going to just do a couple of highlights as to where we are for 25-26. We had budgeted a revenue take of about $43,000. Year to date, we are at $50,000. That's a significant increase over what we thought we were going to collect over the year. Major increases in our non-pledged donations, which directly reflects the passing of the plate. We had about $1,000 budgeted for that, and it came in at $1,500. Within the budget, we figured we might have to tap into as much as $17,000 of our reserves over the course of the year. We did not have to do that. We actually are only $3,000 under what our budget called for and what we are at for the year. And that includes the insurance payment. The payment to UUA includes the first installment of the stairs. And then next month, the final, or this month's the final of this year, will show that the stairs are totally paid for and that the other major expenditures over the course of the year have been paid. We've got things like storm sewer things that come up that are bigger chunks of the bill. So all in all, we are in a very, very good financial situation, much better than we had projected. We are sitting with approximately $14,000 in the checking account right now. And we have built the reserve account back up a little over $60,000. So I feel pretty good about where we are from a financial standpoint. So with that, I'll let Tom come and talk about the budget.
Morning, everybody. My name is Tom Osgood. For those of you that don't know me, and I'm serving as your treasurer right now. This is not on the agenda exactly, but it is on my agenda. And I just want to mention that I've been doing this for some number of years, and I guess I'm going to do it for another year or two at least. But that's going to be kind of off schedule in terms of elections. I've already used up all of my available terms, and so I'm running on fumes now, if you will, at least in terms of the what is that thing? Bylaws, yeah, in terms of the bylaws. So if anybody is willing, I don't need you to be interested. I just need you to be willing to serve as the treasurer, and I get to have lots of fun working with money and spreadsheets and stuff like that. I would be more than happy to work with you over the next year, and we can actually have your name on the slate for next year. All right, that little editorial aside, I did enjoy, I'm sorry, I got to do this, but I did enjoy the meditation today on plentiness. I mean, that wasn't the word. What was it? Abundance. Yeah, that's the one. Because now that we don't have Tammy here, we're not guaranteed 2 services a year on gratitude. But I think abundance is right next to gratitude. And one of the things that I am very, very grateful for is all of you. And I can't believe I don't see 200 people out there for all that we get accomplished. And there are only the 20 or so that are here. But nonetheless, we have done amazing work financially in terms of accomplishing things. Seeing changes, making sure that we are solvent financially. And you talk about abundance and feeling grateful. I am overwhelmed by the abundance that we show on a regular weekly basis and the gratitude that I feel, and I think all of you should feel for what we're able to accomplish with as little as we are and as much as we are willing to share. Okay, having said that, going to the budget, everybody should have a copy. There's nothing really outstanding on there. We're going to increase a couple of things, like our pledge donations. You folks have been very generous this year, and we hope that you will continue to be generous. I know for myself, unfortunately, I'm not going to raise my pledge this year. Going to have to hold off doing that for right now. But if people can help out as much as they can, would appreciate that. The special donations reflects our response to our special needs. And I am very grateful for that, that people have responded as generously as they have. Charlotte already mentioned these for the insurance, the stairs, the other projects that we have worked on. So I anticipate that folks will continue that generosity, and I hope you are able to. So that will go up a little bit. We have dumped on Carmen more than we did when Tammy was here. So we thought we ought to at least give her minimal compensation for all of that work. And those of you that don't read the newsletter, I would encourage you. I hate to be a broken record on this thing with everybody else, but it's just hard not to go on about that newsletter. I think she just does an amazing job. I can't say that I've looked at other newsletters, so I don't know how we compare, but I got to believe that we're kind of at the top of the list. We're at the top of the list. Yeah. Whatever we're able to scrape up to compensate her for the effort that she puts out is under compensation as far as I'm concerned. So, that's one of the increases that we have with Tammy leaving. And then our insurance continues to rise, so we have to deal with that. And then what else? Speakers and music, we do with Marianne coming on, and we have other ministers. We budgeted an increase on that, and that budget may fall a little bit short, but we'll find out at the end of the year. And if we're able to enter into contractual arrangements for consulting and other kinds of services, then there's some budget left for that too. So that all said and done, the budget projects about $48,000 rather of income for us to work with, and expenses which probably won't come to quite this, although the income may exceed the 48,000. Expenses to about 60,000, leaving us with a bit of a shortfall. So hopefully we'll be able to make that up. But that's where it stands right now. This is not something that is designed to be set in stone, so that we can't vary from what's on here without major legislative consideration. But it is a guideline for how we propose the year to work out and kind of what we think is going to happen, barring any unforeseen things that, of course, are always going to happen, but you never know what they are. So anybody have any questions about this? Any things you want to say? Issues that you think should be changed? I mean, if there are things on this budget that you don't like, you're certainly eligible to go ahead and amend it now. One of the things I went back for was my pen, so I can make notes on what we really ought to be doing for you to finally vote on. But any changes anybody suggests? All right, then I would entertain a motion to approve the budget as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. All right, so we have the motion to and seconded to approve the budget as presented. Any other discussion, particularly any negative discussion, any things that you want to have changed? Those are the things that we need to pay attention to. I'm getting there. All right, all in favor say aye. Anybody opposed? All right, here we go.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go get it.
Thank you, Tom. And I will say we have amazing money people. I am constantly amazed at Stacy's ability to find 39 cents that we have been overcharged. This woman will not let anything past her. So yay, go, go, go. And Tom always keeps us up to date and that with our finances from the big picture standpoint. So that's great. Our second voting action is the election of your board of directors for the next year. We have at this point, we have Stacy, who is on the slate as a first year, third term candidate. We have Brittany as a first year term for the vice presidency position. We have Judy, and Judy's not here today, but I will thank her in future Sunday services. This is her year to roll off. So we have a new person added to the slate for our member at large, and that is Janny. Is that how you're doing? Jenny? Janny. Okay. Swan has graciously stepped up to be our member at large on the slate. We are with Tom, our second year of his 6th term. And we had no takers prior to the meeting today. And I myself am on my second year of my 4th term. So, and we had no takers stepping forward for that role. Our bylaws say that anyone whose position is not filled by slate or by floor recommendations continues until otherwise so changed. So at this point in time, I would ask, are there any additional members who would want to present themselves for the slate of officers for 25, 26, 27? Jesus. Did you raise your hand, Jan? Oh, no, you're just. Oh, okay. Okay. Seeing none, this will be our slate then. Stacy, Brittany, Janny, Tom, and myself. I'll need a motion to accept that slate. Bonnie has motioned to accept the slate. I need a second. We've got a second over here with Pat. Man, my brain is dead today. Any other questions, concerns? I'll echo what Tom said earlier. If anyone has any interest in working with the board, we are all open to helping and assisting in that way. Would also like to, before we take the final vote, just thank Michael for having worked again. He was in his second year of 5th term as vice president. So but he's trying to finish out a career, and then we'll look forward to what he does with us in the future. So thank you, Michael, for your service. All right, I'll call the vote then for the slate. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Nope, we have a new slate, sort of. New slate, sort of. Old business, real quickly, I have been in contact with Scott Perry. You will see the building coming down sometime late spring, early summer. And he's working a lot with Tam right now, getting the food truck up and opened over there that will be available in the lunchtime and evening time opportunities. And I think that's it. And any new business that anyone from the congregation would want to bring forward at the annual meeting.
Thank you, Charlotte.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Anything else for the good of the cause? Yeah. No, not formally, but yeah, we could do something with that. Absolutely.
Special events so that you can put it on your calendar.
Yeah, we can put that, we can pull that together. I can work with Carmen on that. And
Is that the one you need? I don't know what to do, any attachment shall. That is, there's a link to that in the newsletter and also on the website. Is that when you do password to?
okay, great. Okay, so it's open to anybody can get to the Google Calendar.
It was, there's a link that clicks to it. I will have to admit, I need to keep it more up to date, but it is there, so you'll see. You're welcome.
And then we have our monthly calendar that's on the bulletin board downstairs to help with activities and that. Any other questions? Good questions. Comments? Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn the annual meeting? Michael? Second, Pat seconds. And any discussion about that? Nope. All right, all in favor say aye. Aye, nay. All right, coffee.